quiet. Buriram only like 4 points so far. Golden Cat only like 4 points so far. Cerberus only like 4 points so far. You know, it's the theme here.
Yeah, I am noticing that theme. It's really been a day where the teams in probably the bottom 8 are the ones that are really sort of thriving at the moment. I think actually all of the teams that are in the top 5 for today were in the bottom 8 to go into today. So we are seeing a bit of moving and shaking as far as the scoreboard is concerned. And I dare say we will continue to see that as the games progress. Fairly straightforward, fairly decent playing path we saw there early on. It should give everyone the opportunity to jump into their favorite location. Q Confirm and Carnage almost running into each other. It looked like B2 wanted to challenge for that vehicle that Gems has found himself in. And, well, Gems might go chasing after B2 here. So I think B2's, never mind, it's going to be fine. Gems thinks better of it and turns back around. Nice circle shift, though. It's another bit of a change up. First, we saw one going fairly central. Then we saw one out to the west. It's nice driving from Gems. This one's going a little bit further towards the north. So I like to see 3 different circles here on Miramar. Keeps things fresh and interesting.
Yeah, it's actually funny that you bring that up, considering there's been a lot of debate around Miramar and, you know, sort of the RNG around it. The circles can be very predictable just because of the nature of the map, not a lot of water. And typically, just the way that the map has sort of been made, you tend to see a lot of the same circles. And so it's been nice to have some different circles here tonight for our matches of Miramar. Of course, Erangel to follow up after this. There's our top 3 teams, Q Confirm, Cerberus, and Golden Cat. Haisaki, of course, notable. Bring it up again. Why not? Not playing tonight. Smell is in place of him for personal reasons. Haisaki, who's leading the damage, for instance. He's second in kills. Very, very crucial part missing for Cerberus tonight. Yet they still hold on to second place for now, but they just don't look the same without their star player.
No, and I 100% have to agree with you. I mean, you can understand why they're not having the night that they have previously, but for Cerberus, if they do want to hang on to that second place, they are going to need to turn it around. They've been lucky in that Golden Cat also hasn't had a phenomenal performance today, nor has Buriram. MSC looking pretty good, though, and if they continue the trajectory that they've been on in Game 1 and 2, maybe it'll be MSC at the end of today that end up in second place. Who knows? But certainly for Cerberus, they're making life easy for Q Confirm. They're having much the same done to them, though, by the teams below them. Golden Cat, Buriram, MSC also struggling at the moment. As we talked about, it's the teams in the bottom 8 really today that have been thriving and putting the numbers on the board. Maogi also haven't been as impressive as we might have liked to have seen from them. They were another one of those teams that was sort of in the discussion for a potential second place. And they've been okay. They've been pretty decent. 12 points so far today. So you keep chugging along at 6 points a game, and that's not awful, but it's not amazing either.
No, it's not amazing, but as you said, it's not really awful. Mogi Esports have been a highlight, I think, here for PCS1, APAC, a team that didn't play in the Charity Showdown, and there was, I guess, whenever you have teams that didn't play in the previous sort of iteration of this level of tournament that then have to sort of make their way in, you do question if they're going to be able to be up to the standard that typically is set by sort of the big teams, QC, for instance, Cerberus, Golden Cat, Buriram. But teams like MSC and Mogi Esports, 5th and 6th respectively, I think have slotted in very, very well. Haven't looked out of place at all. Buriram, on the other hand, though, Jordan, day 3 for them has looked out of place.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's been a struggle, to be honest. And I guess it's going to be not... I mean, it sounds kind of BM to say that I'm not too surprised, right? I think Buriram, again, are one of those teams that does show a little bit of inconsistency. We saw it a little bit in the Charity Showdown. Same for Cerberus. They didn't probably have that performance that they wanted to in Charity Showdown. So I think that's one of the things for these teams from the Southeast Asia region that definitely needs a bit of work. It's just that consistency. And yes, PUBG is a game where you're going to have performances that are up and down, but it is the teams that are able to consistently work with whatever they get that are going to be the best teams. And right now that is Q Confirm. Buriram looking like they might run into an early engagement here again. Edie with a shotty close range. Just one taps JN though. And that is a nice little positive start for Buriram here.
Yeah, they need just something to sort of build off. And that's something that they can build off. Because realistically, they're not a team that has an excuse like Cerberus not having Haisaki today. They've got all 4 of their members. They finished sort of last week off in really good fashion as well. And, you know, they did start kind of slow on day one as they kind of didn't change the showdown, picked things up, and now have very much cemented themselves as a top 3, top 4 team. But challenging the likes of Q Confirm, Biraram, Cerberus, Golden Cat, I guess they've all kind of been in this together so far tonight in letting that slip. You consider the fact that, you know, Q Confirm got nothing in match 1. They didn't even really have a massive game either in match 2. It's everyone else below them that has crept up. If you've only sort of just joined us or just started following along, really the top 4, Jordan, you know, we saw was very much separated to everyone else. You look at Golden Cat and then you look at MSC, and it's only 7 points now as a gap. There's no more of a sort of second, third, and fourth. Now you kind of go all the way down to like Fury and Astra in 9th and 10th.
Even Gearbox in 11th, they've got 60 points.
Yeah.
Only 1 point behind Astra, so maybe they deserve to be in the discussion as well, considering they've picked up a win today and they're chugging along quite nicely. Didn't see a huge performance from them in game 1, but they did take 6th place. The way they fragged out at the end of match 2 does make you think that there is something left in the back pocket here for Gearbox. But unfortunately, having lost J-End early on in the piece and still yet to clear out Edie, things could get a little worse for them here. This should be pretty easily traded, though. 5 shots in that shotgun, though, for Edie. I don't know, maybe 5 one-taps. Well, 3 is what he'd really require. Chin down early, could be finished off. Edie opting to go for it. That's probably not a bad decision, given that's points on offer. 1 more shot, but he's spammed down by Beodora. The grenade through from Nordra. It was a flash, actually, that's going to keep Beodora hiding behind the desk, and it looks like this might be the end of Gearbox. Nordra charging him down. Y8, and Beodora finished off, and Gearbox out in 16th. So you can really put a stop to what I was talking about even 20 seconds ago, because maybe it's not going to be the night for Gearbox.
Yeah, I mean, that's always how it goes, isn't it? You end up finding a win, and then you go out in last place. We've seen it, I think, at least once already here for PCS1
confirmed,
APAC.
Definitely, on day 1.
Yeah. Yeah,
in fact, it was 2 wins in a row, and then a 16th. Can happen to anyone.
That's not as bad, though, if you get 2 wins and then a 16th. I'd happily take that if I was the team. Victim Rise, though, here the commotion. They pushed over towards Biraram United's position, who, I mean, as I said, they need something to just sort of build a platform on, and this is one way to do it. You know, you get a couple of early kills, and then that can snowball. Canaxi, though, this is aggressive. Over to Samoy, who's got the high ground as well, and he's going to get punished for a quick headshot. That's what happens when you got the high ground, Jordan. The headshot rate is just going to go through the roof exponentially. Victim Rise now have got sort of the numbers against Buriram if they want to just keep them around this area.
Yeah, Q Confirm are going to be loving seeing Buriram players popping up in the kill feed for all the wrong reasons. Buriram down to 2 players now, and again, Buriram was one of those teams that we thought might be able to close the gap against Q Confirm and make it interesting as the battle for first place going into day 4, but it just doesn't seem to be coming together today for the likes of Cerberus and Buriram and Q Confirm, for Golden Cat rather. Certainly is for Q Confirm, although not as well as previous days. Another circle shift to come, though, Xenox, and we'll see where this one ends up going. Right on top of Bahumat Gaming might have been a good assumption, and indeed is exactly where it'll go. So, again, Bahu might get a bit of a feed. This time we'll see whether or not they are able to take advantage of it.
I mean, it is their home. They've been getting multiple feeds now on Miramar. They've had, like, what, 2 wins as well, considering that they're third last and they've had 2 wins.
Yeah. It's insane, isn't it?
They're a very difficult team to sort of make sense of, is good old Bahamut Gaming. 6 Sacks probably doesn't make it out of here alive. Surely, Poo Chills. Come on, you got to get this one. Oh no, he's not allowed this, has he? He's getting a bit of help from his team on the hill. At the very least, blow that vehicle up. Thank you, Poo Chills.
Well, look, to be honest, 6 Sacks kind of made it easy for him by driving in a straight line. All he had to do was line it up. I mean, I guess I say it's easy. It's not as easy as it looks, but certainly could have been more difficult. Astro managing to find themselves a kill in that mix as well. So, again, not a bad start for this Oceanic squad. Couple of kills on the board, 2 points, and circle shift not ideal for Astra, but it's not an awful one. So I wonder if they can keep that consistency going. 2 5th places in a row tonight for them, Xenox. And it's a good turnaround from week 1. For not only them, but for Fury as well.
Yeah, 4th and 7th for Fury Australia. Miramar has been kind, though, Oceanic teams so far. I think 9th and 10th for those two respectively, but not too far away from breaching the top 8. I mean, Fury literally only 1 point away behind Defiant, and they've shown glimpses. Why is Ronan black and white?
They're all black and white. All of Fury.
Why is this?
I don't know why. It's been like that all competition, though.
Well, I don't know if it's a good luck charm or a bad luck charm. I'm not sure. Q confirmed, though. Really good sort of circle for them here. I don't really see them messing this one up, Jordan, and could very well be another game that they capitalize on and get a lot of points from, which really, the beauty of this for them is they're 40 points above second place, which obviously if they have 0-point games, that can shrink, but provided they at least get, I'd say even 4 or 5 points a game from here on out, halving how much they usually get as Lynxie takes out Poochills. Even just halving what they usually get, which is around like 10 a game, and they're still going to be fine from here on out.
Yeah, exactly. What I was talking about at the start of today, it doesn't need to be anything astronomical from Q Confirm. They put in the hard yards in week 1, and that means that you can cruise along a little bit in week 2, not get too concerned. Day Trade have lost 1 player. That was courtesy of Astra, who kind of just cyberbullied Poochills, but by the way, Day Trade are going to set themselves up in a little compound. It's not ideal, very far down to the southern part of the map, and they may end up having to deal with Astra, who is rotating behind them at the moment. I wonder what this rotation from Astra is caused by, though. I'd have thought that the circle was going to go a different way. We'll see. They expected to go down south or perhaps down to the southeast. That's the direction that they're headed in.
Oh. Turn back? They might have to now. That's a very, very north hard shift away from Astra, away from Fury, away from Day Trade. Even QC are going to have to move into this next circle. And I mean, besides Hacienda, a couple of the compounds around it, like MSC have been able to take one to the east of Hassi, Cerberus up to the north. Outside of that, very open fields here. For phase 3 early on, by the end of this circle, could very well find ourselves with a lot of deaths at the hands of teams just coming in late. This is not the sort of circle you want to come in late to.
I don't mind this rotation from Carnage. It's going to get them into the circle, although where they go from here is a bit of a question for me, because there's not a whole lot of cover in front of them. Yeah, there's some defilades. Right, might have a chance here on Astra, who's gone driving past them. Benotica still with an opportunity for some more shots as well. Looks like I think Astra's gotten out of there okay. Q Confirm, certainly under some pressure. Bahamut Gaming are not too eager to give up this 2-2 split, which is an interesting thought, because I would have been surprised to see Art God and Shinryuji just go join up with their mates on the northern side of the road, but they're kind of taking it to Q Confirm.
Well, depending on how they position Shinryuji and Art God, they could get some help from Mr. Chan and my boy.
Well, what you don't see on the minimap right now, Xenox, is that VTR are also pushing to the northern side of this 2-2 split of Bahamut Gaming. So I think those guys up toward the north also have something to worry about as well.
Minute and 15 seconds till phase 4. Bahamut very much steadfast with defending the 2-2 split, like you said. There is the sort of fight up north, which is what I guess my boy and Mr. Chan also keeping an eye on, and I don't know how much vision they really have of Q Confirmed to help out Shinryuji and Art God. 2 versus 4, you're always going to sort of back in Q Confirmed, although the last time we said that they were going to frag out, they got swept by Gearbox. To be fair, it was more of a 4v4 rather than a 2v4, holding these silos. Shinryuji, does he catch someone off guard? Maybe catch someone sleeping at the back here. Whether it's like Svit or potentially Gems, they start to push in. He's going to get a nice spray knocked down.
Oh, that's not a nice spray.
What? Jayers? Not only is he able to get the headshot knockdown onto Shinryuji, but he doesn't get knocked down himself. Ronan steals the kill as well for Fury Australia, so they must have eyes on this too.
Art God. A little bit of pressure now has to put it out. Bahamut Gaming, they're not really being able to put that pressure onto Q Confirm that we had hoped they would. I don't think we're going to see Art God surviving too much longer. NMC has managed to get the knockdown onto Jiao Man, but Q confirmed chucking those smokes out. There's a bit of body blocking going on here from Gems as well, and I think they probably get out of this one okay. They probably do get that res. Great work from Q confirm to keep all 4 players alive in a pretty rough situation.
Rough situation, rough circle, unless you are MSC, Theraton. Carnage as well, their earlier rotation gets him into a really good spot. Waiki Kabukau goes up in flames to Kamal's. Not the worst idea, I should say. This is a really good compound to breach. All 3 members of Fury that do remain should very much be heading to that compound, and they should be able to get it. They know it's only Kamal's that got the information, and even though they lost Waiki Kabukau, should do well for them as Divine push on to the last 2 members of Bahamut Gaming. My boy knocked down by Nikki.
Molly.
And Mr. Chan could be very well bye-bye Chan very, very soon. The problem with Bahamut Gaming this game is they were just way too greedy. They needed to have Shinryu and Art God group up with my boy Mr. Chan. The only thing I can think of is maybe they didn't have the vehicles to do that. Still, this has been a bit of a disaster game for Bahamut.
Either that or Q Confirm got on top of them so quickly that they weren't able to rotate out. Otherwise, it would have been a bit of a suicide mission. Regardless, it doesn't look like it's going to go too well here for Bahamut Gaming. Mr. Chan, pretty solid player, but in a 1-on-3, the spacing looks good for Divine Levi's. Oh no, he's knocked Turtle down, and there's a kill for Mr. Chan. One more to go.
What?
Nikki, he'll fall too, and that is going to be Bahamut Gaming surviving and Divine out in 14th.
What the hell just happened to Divine Esports?
Just spacing, I think, was the issue.
Oh, is the same thing about to happen to Fury as well? No. Jukesy gets the immediate knockdown onto Kamals, who did have a pre-fired nade that got the knockdown onto Jukesy as well. Yanku lands a few tags onto the same thing about to happen to Fury as well? No. Bahamut Gaming goes from Calamity Jordan to now a hero for Mr. Chan.
Yeah. I had a teacher in high school called Mr. Chan, by the way. Don't think it's the same guy, though.
Probably not.
JJ Leo has run 74L1 over, and this could be pretty good news for Fury because they are trying to hang on to this compound and already on the breach. 74L1 down. Ronan finishes off Chibirit, so VTR have been removed. Now it's time for Fury to turn their attention to DIC, although they will need to get that res onto Ronan. Yoshimin Buri causing some problems.
Look, Jordan, it's not the strongest region is APAC, as we watch Flash do some tumble rolls, but it's probably the best to watch. I think we can all agree.
Oh, yeah. I always have fun.
That's what it's about. Except I don't think Jao Man is having too much fun right now, and Fury Australia, of course, being pressured by DIC. I'm not sure if Scarl is the play. Generally, it's the barrel meta, but Niku's did end up getting that knockdown onto Jao Man that we sort of left behind earlier. Molotov thrown into at the bottom floor towards Insight. DIC are going to get reinforcements through Anquan. They continue.
No, they're not.
Never mind, Mr. Chan. Well, Jordan's teacher coming up big this game for Bahamut Gaming. 3 kills for Fury. They look to finish off the rest of DIC. Jukesy with a knockdown to JJ Leo. Spray into the second window to his right. Just keeps pushing up. Has the confidence. Knows full well he's got the team behind him. Couldn't get the headshot. Reloads the Scar. Peek to the left and he can get one more. Never mind, he just goes straight in. Jukesy cleans them all up. Bit of help from inside as well. Fury Australia are on another level so far tonight.
It is a totally different looking Fury Australia. They've already outpaced the amount of points that they got on day 2. They had 18 going into this game. 19 was the amount of points they got on day 2, and they're well past that now. So Fury are making a run in not only for the middle of the pack, but perhaps even a second place finish, dare I say, Xenox. They're on the trajectory for that right now. Cerberus, Boomerang, Golden Cat have been doing absolutely nothing today. The only one that's been kind of performing to the level that Fury has, that is above them, is MSC. Even Q Confirm are struggling at the moment, who, by the way, can I just say, have not been too keen on how this circle shift has gone. It's gone right up to the north, Q Confirm down south, near Fury Australia, and they have a lot of ground to cover with not too many vehicles by the looks of it, because they're just running on foot at the moment.
Well, the same can be said as well for Fury. They are already making their way away from that compound they once had. Because of this circle going north, it's completely ruined Fury's camp game here. They're already in those vehicles, heading out and away. So that means Svit and Gems will not have really anyone to fire upon, but also maybe helps them for just a moment in time, Jordan, that those two can, I guess, try and stay alive a little bit longer. Had Fury stayed a bit longer, maybe they get spotted. Ghoul, nade towards Gakon, who stays alive, 1 health. Has a smoke, he's able to throw it down. Now the first aid kit to come out.
Well, it's an interesting rotation in from Fury as well. They've got themselves center circle. MSC are going to have to frag out if they're going to want to push forward, but they don't necessarily have to push forward right now. I think they'll just look for some third parties, similar to what Cerberus is doing at the moment. That's a nice grenade, though, from Yoshimin Buri. You've been talking a lot about him, Xenox, and he gets
That's a good name.
In fact.
Good name, good nade. He finds a double. Maybe things just turning for Yoshimin Buri. His team has been there all along. It's really been their star player that has needed to catch up, but here he is arriving for MSC. You know, we speak about Fury and Astra and them turning things around, but MSC is on another level as well tonight. There is Astra. Linksy knocked down onto Mr. Chan, and finally, our hero from this game for Bahumat's eliminated. MSC and QSV. Spit knocked down. Gems is up. He gets the elimination onto Yanku. Close the door. Get the revive and Q confirm. Are getting ever so closer to a top 8 placing here. Still 3 players up for MSC. Ilinix, Rusidid, and Yoshimin Buri need to flush out the last 2 members of Q confirm.
They certainly do, and they're doing it quickly as well. They're not giving that much time for this res to come across. Yes, Svit is back up now, but MSC continuing to push the issue, continuing to put that pressure on. Svit will get a health back across, though. And so Q-Confirm are just going to try and slow things down a little bit here. MSC also doing the same. They don't want to make a mistake right now because they know the team that's in front of them. They know how important this kill can be, this kind of difference maker for maybe not only themselves, but the entire rest of the pack. If Q-Confirm have another poor game here, gives another opportunity over to, for example, Cerberus, who has 4 players alive right now. Slow Steady wins the race for MSC, but it does actually look like they're going to disengage. So they're going to let Q-Confirm have a little bit of a respite. Q-Confirm not showing quite as much mercy.
A suppressor on a barrel?
Looks like
I've seen it all now. But this was smart from MSC because Q-Confirm have to make their way out of the building anyway, right? MSC also need to get better position moving forward here for the rest of Phase 6. So it's kind of a best of both worlds for MSC. They push forward, they get position, then of course they can keep an eye on Q-Confirm as they make their way out of the compound. So rather than push into the compound at risk of being sprayed down by Gems and Svit, this is not bad. Now Insight finds a knockdown as well.
I'm starting to get a bit of a feeling right now. I don't know if you're getting that feeling, but I'm seeing Fury popping up in the kill feed quite a lot. I'm seeing them center circle. I'm seeing them with a 2-1 split. Getting a bit of a good feeling that we're going to see some incognito form back again.
Don't go too early jinxing this one, Jordan. MSC have looked good. They don't have the position. Cerberus have still got the numbers, 4 up. In fact, they're the only team that have got 4 alive now. Vandal's going to be eliminated by Rain. Carnage is still in this too. We haven't even really sort of spoken about them. It's been, again, the OCE teams that are in control here. As they were kind of in match 1, they are once again in match 3. As Q-Confirm take the flat to MSC Theraton. Svit with the knockdown onto Ilinix.
Oh, good flash.
The flash is successful onto Svit. Gems is low health. Smoke up for Yoshimin Buri and Rossiter Jr. And the third party now from Buri Ram. Norcha knockdown onto Gems, and Svit was outnumbered in the end. Q-Confirm. No placement point.
It's not good for
a couple
MSC.
of points still. And as you mentioned, not good for MSC either, because that blue's moving. They don't have any cover. Oggy and Cerberus right in front of them.
I mean, at least they've been able to get rid of Q-Confirm, a couple more points on the board for them there, but I don't see MSC getting much further than this. Look at the overwatch that Nordra has of their position. Maogi on the other side as well, and if Rosita Jr. goes forward, he has to run into Fury, who are absolutely fragging out at the moment, Xenox. I don't know how many kills they've gotten in this game. They're already up to 6th place, and the circle goes right on top of Fury as well. So this is certainly looking like it's Oceania's day.
They don't have Waikikamuka, who was exploded earlier on in the piece. Cerberus have still got 4 alive. Not sure what their vehicle situation is. It's hard to believe there's 8 teams still up when you look at that map.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem like there's that many teams. There goes Mogi, though, immediately after that. Extreme finds a knockdown onto Bryn. When it gets down to this sort of point, though, when there's not many players, there's not many teams alive, and all 3 Oceanic teams are up, they're probably going to feed on each other. Nordra, the solo for Buriram United, been a much better game for them. That's a nice knockdown. Should be able to get the flush as well quickly after that. 4 kills now for Nordra.
Yeah, it's nice to see for Boomerang that they're keeping that scoreboard ticking over. Even though they're down to 1, they're in the placement points now, and they get even more, seeing as Carnage is eliminated in 7th. And they've got 8 kills on the board, so this is the one that Q-Confirm has been dodging a little bit throughout today. Q-Confirm having their rougher performances, but Cerberus and Boomerang not getting points on the board. Now, Cerberus and Boomerang are looking to close the gap a little bit.
Looking to, they kind of already have begun to do so, and if they can find more in this game, it'll increase, or slighten that gap even more. Insight knocked down by Basil. In the end, that actually may help out Astra. My boy still alive for Bahumat Gaming. They lost Mr. Chan Jordan, but my boy has still been sneaking around. As Fury, though, falling by the wayside when it matters most. 26 minutes. And I think they're just down to Ronan as a last one alive for Fury Australia. Nordra still just putting in work, though, for Buriram United.
Surely
He's just been the silent assassin down south, fighting knocks and kills on the Cerberus Esports. Jaxi knocked down. It is chaos here in these fields.
Certainly is. Smells looking a little bit worse for wear. Basil will give it up to the zone. Jexy as well. And I think for Eagle Sentinel Shooter, they might just be exiting. Grenade, last finishing touch perhaps onto Nikus, but it's not going to go far enough. Eagle Sentinel Shooter will be out in 6th. And Boomerang, 10 kills. Nordra is fragging out at the moment.
I think he's got 6. Because they had 4 as a team. But that was without him. Niku, Zoidmate still alive for Astra, Roan for Fury, 5 teams left, and there's 4 solos and 1 duo. The duo is Astra.
Yeah.
This is potentially going to be a snake finish. 6 alive, but only 5 teams. If Zoid gets pinged here, he could very well make it a 5 solo play. Throws out a smoke. Astra have the advantage out of everyone right now in terms of numbers. Nordra, the silent assassin, 6 out of 10 kills for Buriram.
If Nordra had the circle here, I'd actually back him to win the game. Zoidmate's gotten rid of my boys, so Bahumat are out in 5th. But he does need to be a bit careful. Nordra, he's got an angle, and Zoid's done. So we're into the top 4 with 4 solos.
Anyone's game from here. Cerberus, Buriram, of course. A lot on the line for them, especially trying to catch Q-Confirm. Fury up into 6th place because of this game so far. Can Ronan find the win? He's potentially closest to the circle. Nikus is alive as well for Astra. They're into the top 8 as well for the Oceanic team of Astra. But Nordra is, right now, kind of like John Wick running around killing everyone.
He's the Terminator, Xenox. He's Arnie. I actually reckon Nordra's got this. I don't want to sort of curse it or anything like that, but the way that he's hitting shots and the way that he's sort of working his way through this, it would be an absolutely phenomenal win for Buriram if Nordra could finish this off, because he's been playing solo for so long. Cerberus had 4, Fury had 3, Astra had 3 when we got into the late game, but he's been solo this whole time and he's just been kind of munching on everyone. Anyway, we're into the final circle shift. So sooner or later, that circle's going to start moving into the center. Now, who has the best position right now? It's debatably Ronan or Nordra. Can't quite tell who's a little bit closer to the center, who has to move last. But Smell's certainly going to have to move first alongside Nikus.
8 kills for Astra. And a big game for them as well. Keeping his eye on Nordra, who spots Smell. And if he spots you, he's probably going to kill you. 8 out of 12 kills now. He's 2 away from a personal killing spree.
Ronan
down to 3 teams.
He's been quiet. So I was going to say, I wonder if anyone knows this position. I think Nikus has spotted Ronan there, though.
He knows. Nikus is probably in the worst position, right? Because the other 2 have got some cover. Ronan fires shots towards Nikus. He puts all countrymen aside at this point. Wants to get into the top 2. Wants to get Fury the win. If he can get the win, maybe into the top 4 they go. Ronan takes out Nikus. Astra fall in 3rd place. It's down to a 1 versus 1.
Look at this run
versus Ronan. And Waika Kamukau says, be like Ronan. In this case, will Ronan be like Ronan? 7 shots, has to reload, moves to the hay bale. Minute 40 seconds left here.
It's been spotted.
We come down to the barrel versus the AKM.
Ronan has a nice little angle through the tractor, but doesn't land any shots. So Oceania up against Thailand right now. The flash is coming out from Nordra. And a good shot in from Ronan. That's going to be some more damage. Nordra certainly copying the brunt of it. The flash does connect onto Ronan, though. but he has the better position. Nordra's going to have to move first.
Roger does have the barrel, though, and that is the meta right now. If it comes down to both of them sort of firing at each other at the same time, you kind of back Nordra in, and he has been the Assassino in this game. Lands the first few tags onto Ronan. AK in hand. He's only got one first aid kit. Flashes galore. How many does Nordra have? Pushing up to this red truck. This may actually backfire if Nordra gets too close and Ronan spots him. He'll be able to get a much higher chance at a headshot. Ronan from the right side gets the win! Fury Australia! They stop the Terminator. Ronan comes up clutch in the 1v1. And it feels like that one potentially was for Eevee side.
Yeah, man, they have been searching for that the entirety of this competition. In fact, even going all the way back to Charity Showdown, Fury has put themselves in positions to win games, but they haven't been able to get over the line. And that is a big win to get on the board, particularly given the circumstances you mentioned.
Be like Ronan, Jordan. Be like Ronan. They come up with the win. And this is now becoming a trend. Fury, Astra, the Oceanic teams have awoken here on day 3 of PCS 1 APAC. Buriram as well, to that degree, Jordan, have now also awoken here in this third match as we close out Miramar. They now just sort of put a bit of a hot seat under Q Confirm potentially, who only, again, picked up minimal points.
Well, I mean, Fury's up into 4th place now, Xenox. They are not putting necessarily the hot seat under Q Confirm just yet, but certainly Cerberus and Buriram. Top 5 damage for that match. It's absolutely no surprise to see Nordra finishing off with the first place in this respect, although he's not able to get the first place for his team. I almost feel like I want to say Nordra deserved it, given how well he was doing, but in the end, Jukesy picking up a huge win for Fury. Either way, still a great game for Buriram as well. Zoidmate chiming in as well. Lots going on at the moment. Total leaderboard on your screen here, though. That's going to show you that Buriram have closed that gap. It's not 40 points anymore. It's just over 30. So slowly but surely getting a little bit closer to Q Confirm.
32 points to be exact. Quick maths there, Jordan.
Wow.
Fury, though, into the top 4. They themselves now, if they can continue here going into the 2 games of Erangel, get even more points. Like, let's say they get another 30 points tonight, which is definitely feasible.
2 games.
Potentially, they could find themselves challenging Q Confirm of all teams, let alone 2nd or 3rd or 4th. They've got potentially their eyes on the prize. Astra into the top 8 as well. We've got ourselves a very even top 8 now. When we come back from the break, Jordan, we're not going to just yet, but when we come back, one thing I want to discuss is sort of just the wins as well. Very different to that of Charity Showdown. We'll get to that later, but heading into Erangel after the break, do we suspect that we're going to see more of the same here? Or kind of a bit like we saw in week 1, things do shift a bit when we change map?
Yeah, look, I mean, to be fair for Fury, they've performed about as well as you would have hoped for them to on Erangel. They had about a 60-40 split coming into this week for their placement points. So I got to be honest, I don't know that they're going to slow down too much on Erangel. Yeah, their kills weren't quite up to scratch as far as the placement points were concerned, but if we're following this storyline of Fury today, they're definitely a team that we might see do well on Erangel. Other teams to look at, though, Xenox, a team that certainly has been struggling on Miramar is Cerberus. 87% of their placement points coming on Erangel. So they're a team that I'd really be looking to bounce back, because day 3 so far has been rough for them.
Been rough for a few, but not the Oceanic teams. 2 games still to be played here for day 3 of PCS 1 APAC. We're going to a break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everybody. I myself am back from Niku's sandwich shop. Picked up a bite to eat. Heading into Erangel very, very shortly. It's been the day of OCE. It's also been the day of Buriram United, or at least one of the games today. Potentially, Jordan, giving us a challenge for first place.
Yeah, look, I mean, a challenge for first place might be a little bit of a stretch at the moment. We are still going to need to see Q-Confirm struggling, but struggling they are, Xenox. They've not been having a particularly great time so far today, only 14 points out of it. So averaging about 5 a game, it's not too bad, but it's not astronomical, and it's certainly not anywhere near what they were putting on the board in the first couple of days. And it's the same kind of a context, I guess, for Fury, at least in that this is astronomically better. I guess it's the same idea. It's different from day 1 and 2, but it's for all the right reasons this time for Fury. 37 points today and 12 points a game from them so far. First place out of day 3 at the moment. So they're certainly putting in the numbers. And I did say a little bit earlier, I think it's the day of Oceania. We've seen a couple of good feeds go the way of Astra and Fury, and they've definitely capitalized on them. Astra is the team in 3rd place out of the placements today, in terms of the points that we're able to get on the board today. So MSC sitting in the middle there between Fury and Astra, the Oceania sandwich, maybe the one that you picked up from the sandwich shop, Xenox. But either way, definitely been a big turnaround from Astra and Fury in particular today.
Yeah, it has been, and there's still enough games to be played that it's not too little too late. Sometimes in these PUBG tournaments, not just the APAC region, but we see teams potentially make a last-ditch run, or they kind of have their best games towards the end when, say, first is already locked up. And in this case, Q-Confirm haven't locked anything up just yet. Well, like, what, 6, 7 games? 7 games still to be played, right? So between the fact that there's games that Q-Confirm could sort of mess things up a bit and have a very storied crash down if they do kind of mess this up. They'd also annoy a lot of people who did pick up for the pick'ems. But they've got challenges. Buriram, Fury, Cerberus, do they get Heisaki back going into the last day? These sort of questions yet to be answered. But also, as we head over to Erangel for our 2 matches of Erangel tonight, do we see potentially Q-Confirm storm home here on what is a map that has typically been their better performing map?
Well, yeah, exactly. You're right. Q-Confirm have performed better on Erangel, and they have been far and away the best performer on Erangel as well. They no longer necessarily hold that title for Miramar when you look towards maybe Bahumat getting a lot of points on Miramar. Same for Fury, who've got a lot of points on Miramar. I think that's been taken away from Q-Confirm today, and maybe Erangel will be no longer their stronghold either, because they're not that far ahead of the rest of the pack on this map anymore, and there's certainly some opportunities for teams that have turned their competition around here in week 2 to put something pretty interesting on the board here. And one of them, of course, that we have been talking a lot about is Fury. That's not because we're biased Oceanic casts as Xenox, it's just because they have been the best performer today, and there's no question about that.
Oh, I mean, the stats literally say they've been the best team today. Astra's been the 3rd best team today. We can only sort of go off the way that these teams are playing. Interesting circle, phase 1. Always a bit of a tricky one. Can either become a very sort of boring Gatka Fields circle, or it makes its way down for, military base or west side of Sosnovka Island. We'll see how this plays out. But look, it's still 2 games to go. The gap is still large for Q-Confirm. They aren't going to be sweating too much with the way that today has transpired. In their eyes as well, there's 2 sides to this, but they also themselves have got plenty of games to still go and pick up enough points to seal a victory. Look, I'm going to be honest and say I still don't see them being overtaken for first place, as we see the damage percentages now. Around second. Yeah, well, Cerberus have dropped so far down because they haven't got their star player. Heisaki was at 36% of their damages. Now he's down to 30%. But what's Fury jumped up, and so is Nordra now has also got 36% for Buriram.
You got to think about the insanity of this is that Heisaki has not played 3 games today. So everyone else on his team has got 3 extra games in the back pocket, and yet he's still getting 30% of the team's damage with an extra player there as well, by the way. So he's got 30% out of 5 instead of 4. So should be at about 20% if you've got 5 players playing. I mean, it's just crazy. Heisaki's been putting in numbers, and that's what Cerberus is missing at the moment. It's allowed Buriram to take 2nd place, and they're the ones that are now looking to strike against Q-Confirm. Obviously, they're not, I would say, not yet within striking distance, but they've taken 2nd, and there's a big gap in terms of the money between 2nd and 3rd.
But in saying that, Cerberus have picked up the exact same amount of points as Q confirmed today, 14 apiece, and they haven't had their star player. So it just keeps them within striking distance going into the last day, if, of course, Hasaki does return on Saturday. We're not sure if that's going to be the case. There's the total damage ranking. Linksy in 5th for Astra. Not too surprising. Obviously, great player, but you just don't see Astra, of course, in the top 4 damage rankings as a team. For the most part, Q confirmed, Jowman, Gems, Jayers. Like, that's insane to really think about that 3. And Svit's in 7th as well. That whole team, damage-wise, is just spitting it out. Nordra, of course, now leading the way in what was almost 1,100 damage just in that last game alone.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like a quarter of the damage that most players have done in the entire competition in one game.
Landmark changes, Jordan.
This is interesting for Maogi. It's, I guess, just the ult drop for Maogi, right? If the plane is over Yaz, they'll go Yaz. If the plane is over North George, they'll go North George. So you see that sometimes for the teams that tend to drop on different sides of the map. Even you can take into account someone like Fury, who normally like to go toward Mansion, Lipovka kind of area. At the moment, they're down on Sosnovka Island. And that's actually kind of, potentially going to work out for them if you look at the way that the circle has shifted. Now, if you're interested in seeing that, PCS_map is where the map stream is. It's still more likely to go up to the mainland, as we always tend to say with a circle like this, but there are times where it trends down towards Sosnovka Island, and if it does, Fury's in with another good potential game.
Definitely don't want to be caster cursing anyone, Jordan, let alone the boys.
Can I just say, by the way, Xenox, I called Fury to win that last game, so I've done anything but caster curse them.
All right. See how it is. Well, Erangel. In terms of teams that kind of need to turn things around, Carnage down the bottom still with Eagle, Sentinel, Shooter. Blank to see those two find a bit of form, bit of spacing here on Erangel, get into some fights. Miramar can be quite tricky if things aren't going your way. It's very punishing. Erangel, not as much. DIC, Victim Riots I think, had that one good game, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm.
Sensible sensitivity from Veronica. Kind of wish I hadn't have actually fixed that.
Yeah, it's one of those fun little things. Yoshiminburi, headshot onto Turtle. He's just gotten away with his life here, although he's probably not pulled up where he would have liked to have. Divine have kind of left him out to dry. They've stopped on the bridge here. This could be rough for Divine. They've been having an okay night tonight, although a not amazing one. It might be just about to get a little bit worse.
Well, up and down sort of night. 16th, 8th, 14th, but in that 8th, they picked up 8 kills, so they've gotten points. Points have been there, but placement points, not really.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing. Yeah. But as long as you're getting some points on the board, keeping things ticking over, you're just feeling like at least you're playing the game, right? Instead of getting banged out over and over and over again. Here's an MC. They come in for Divine Esports alongside Nikki, and seems like they'll be okay. Not going to get too crazy. I think we're probably going to see a pretty slow game to start things off here. Where it's going to get interesting is this second circle shift. If this goes down to Sosnovka Island, literally every team apart from Fury is going to have to cross. We go back north, which is probably the expectation. We're probably not going to be seeing as much craziness, but I would love to see a circle go down south. Not only because of the fact that Fury's just been fragging out, and I kind of want to see them go back to back. No bias. But also because of the fact that it will just throw chaos into the ranks.
I would like to see Bahamut Gaming, since they're on our screens, do well here in Erangel, because I would probably go out on a limb and say they've been the most stark contrast between the two maps I've ever seen. This is a team that's literally gotten 4 points.
Of their points. Yeah.
4 points or something on Erangel, and then everything else has been on.
It's 50,
Miramar.
60 points on Miramar and 4 on Erangel. So yes, it's just insanity.
And Voss gets Nickers down to half health as Astra make their way to the compound just to the northeast of Watertown. So we've made anchored behind, lands a few tags back, and just keeps him honest. This has been sort of one of the interesting things for, I guess, Astra They started off at Watertown. Now they've, of course, gone Severny, trying to get away from these teams around Roshawk and Watertown, for instance, Victim Rise, and yet they now find themselves all the way back here like nothing's changed.
Birdmate's going to get across the bridge as well. Rejoin the rest of the team on a bit of a scouting mission, perhaps. We'll see where he ends up. Chibirit's keeping an eye on that, so is Kamal's. Victim Rise, awfully close to Astra here. This could be a little rough for both teams. I mean, not the rotation Astra wanted to make.
Astra probably have to be a bit aggressive here as well and realize, like, we're now however many games into PCS 1 APAC. They've got to look at Victim Rise and say, well, this is the fourth last team on the standings. We need to be sort of taking them when we get the opportunity. Like, they shouldn't be gatekeeping us here. So we look at the map all the way up north. We should be just plowing through them. And now Lynxy takes some shots. Niku's as well onto Kamal's. They get the knockdown. And this can actually sort of snowball if Victim Rise try to stick around, maybe try and get this revive. If Astra are quick enough, they could capitalize. But that seems like that was a very, very long-range knockdown. Basil just moves away from Gearbox as they come in and take the double reds. Cerberus will just take the trees near the yellows.
Oh, that's interesting driving for Gearbox. Cerberus got themselves a knock. Rain also getting knocked down here. B2 under a bit of pressure as Daytrade are quite close by. He's given some opportunities. Rain helping out, but it doesn't look like it's going to go too well here for Carnage. Most of the frags are going the way of Daytrade. Ram involved in this mix as well. It's just madness down here towards the southern part of the map.
This is so strange to see this early on, 10 minutes in, and you've got like 3 teams all around here. Daytrade, Ram, Carnage, who were pretty much in the middle of it. Unfortunately for them, Nordra eliminates Monty. It's so strange to see this fighting early on. By the way, Jordan, I don't know if you noticed, but 2 members of Astra were eliminated in the kill feed as well. While this was happening, Chibirit from Victim Rise found the double kill. Astra failing their push onto Victim Rise, down to just, I think, Zoid and Extreme.
Yeah, I think it's
for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I didn't expect that fight to actually really eventuate. I mean, Victim Rise have taken a long time now to rotate into the circle because they were essentially gatekeeping Astra. So they're going to come into just the north of Pachinki right about now, but it means that they don't have a good center circle position for when this circle does probably move a little bit more towards Q confirm right now, or Maogi or something like that. So I don't know, they've kind of shot Astra in the foot, but they might have shot themselves in the foot a little bit here as well.
Yeah, I don't understand it. There was no reason for them to be camping that bridge. We'll see how the rest of Erenkill plays out. Flash just going to go prone. Of course, Daytrade were amongst this. Puchil's a bit further back, not really up close. Neither is Venotica, who's just doing doughies on the bike. Going to swing back around potentially just to this compound south and opposite side of the road to Buru Ram United. 2 kills for them. Nordra just continuing to sort of rally up these damage numbers and kills. He's been the MVP tonight. If we're just thinking about sort of individual plays, Niku's finds a kill onto Tonke. So it's actually Niku's and Zoid, mate, not Extreme. Right. Flash has just been pushed on by God Meow and the rest of Buru Ram. I don't think they were expecting Buru Ram to push over that little ridge.
Buru Ram's kind of fragging out at the moment, Xenox. They're into triple figures as well. So the second team to join Q confirmed there. And if their day continues the way it's been going so far, Buru Ram might be doing something a little bit interesting going into day 4.
"15 seconds till phase number 3. Definitely don't think we're going to get a Sosnovka Island sort of circle here, Jordan. I know it's not the water circle setting, but typically phase 3 kind of tries to do the job as best as possible. And it's going to go right onto those cliffs, though, which then entail, I think it's going to go even further north beyond that. So, like, Niku's and Zoidmate's current position's probably going to get fed phase 4, which sounds great at first sight, Jordan, but then you think our team's going to just try and take that position later.
Yeah, not when you're just a 2-man. You probably want to be playing the edge a little bit more so there. Although, maybe they can just chill, fly under the radar a little bit. Unlike Divine at the moment, Buru Ram are going to run right on top of them. Namsi, oh, that's not the time you want to be getting into the vehicle. God Meow has knocked Levi's Some shots coming back through from Turtle, which is causing some chaos amongst the ranks for Buriram. He trades back onto God Meow. It hasn't worked.
Ram have been in and amongst that so far tonight as a whole. Now,
고고.
두듀찡님이 네. 두듀찡님이 엄마 아빠 남동생 다 있어서. 두듀찡님이 이야기 소린가 키키으. 두듀찡님이 초대 중. 두듀찡님이 초대 주라고.
하이요. 오, 수영복 멋진데. 헉, 그것도 돈 주고 사야 되는 거지. 아, 오, 멋지다. 봐줄만한데. 어제 봤는데, 그 체크인가? 저, 붙은 거.
두듀찡님이 카라킨고.
붙은 거. 아래 위로 붙은 거 같은데, 걔는. 아, 어제 이거 빼꼼히 입고 있었는데. 체크는 좀 애기 같고 얘가 좀 어른 같네. 응? 응? 주제는 왜 이렇게 아, 집에 식구들 있다고? 컴퓨터를 방으로 옮겨. 그럼 쫓겨나? 아, 공용 컴퓨터야?
제가 쓰는 컴퓨터가 아니라 키키으. 여 히사시 불이 다나 지민양님이여. 두듀찡님이 내 공용 키키으.
아, 맞다. 남동생한테 또 주고 그러더라, 참. 아, 맞네.
두듀찡님이 남동생.
우리 집은 꼬물 컴퓨터라도 그래도 하나씩 가지고 있는데.
두듀찡님이
각자 방에 하나씩. 아니다. 닌자는 거실에 있지. 방에 안 들러줘. 엄한 짓 했다. 엄한 짓 했다. 감시해야지, 감시.
두듀찡님이 코로나 때문에 집에만 박혀 있을 줄 알았으면 컴퓨터 살 걸.
그래도 설마 공동 공간인 거실에 있는데 그걸 볼까? 좀 있으면 들라셔야지. 핸드폰으로 봐지잖아 요즘. 그래서 그런 게 아니야. 너무 게임만 할까봐 그러는 거지. 문 닫아놓고 게임만 모르잖아. 알아서 다 해. 뭐 반에서 1등 하면 됐지 뭐. 카밀님 이제 얘기해준다. 우리 일찍 죽어야겠는데. 311님 하실 건가 본데? 나가면 또 다른 사람 들어와 있는 거 아니야?
나 이거 그거 안 돼. 고장났나봐요. Alt키. 그거 눌러도 안 되는데? 방향이 리러스.
아니. 아, 그런 것도 있어? 아. 그런 거 어디서 바꿔? 게임 자체에서? 나도 좀 가르쳐 줘봐. 아, 총소리 진짜 너무 커. 듀드는 왜 저기 있지? 알트키가 안 눌러준다고? 알트? 알트는 방향 보는 건데. 그러면 듀드 때문에 멀리 가면 안 되겠구나. 아니, 근데 사스케님은 듀드랑 하면 치킨을 하루에 3개씩 먹고, 나랑 하면 하나 먹기도 힘들고. 내가 못해서 그런 거야? 알았어. 뭐도 먹었다고. 뭐 했어? 아니, 게임하라고 뭐 했어? 그렇가지고. 그렇군. 어째 잘하던데, 다들? 이거 경쟁전이야? 아니지? 도대체 왜 이렇게 2배, 3배가 이렇게 많이 나와? 총을 안 주는데? 아직도 하얀병 들고 있는데? 야. 샷건을 주면 어떡하니? 여기 나 혼자 있는 거 무섭게 시리.
소스맛 좀 볼래님이 아이패드 사지 말했잖아.
토미건 들어야 되나? 아하. 따라라라란 딴 따라라라란 너 안 돼. 나 토미건 쓸 줄 몰라. 너 안 돼. 왜? 내려놓고 물어봐야지. 이거 가질래요? 기차 온다. 기차에서 사람 내리진 않았겠지? 로봇은 차 안 타죠, 그죠? 4배 다 있겠죠? 오케이. 글쎄. 드디어 아이패드 이미 산 걸 아이패드 비싸요?
두두찡님이 나만의 졸업 선물.
40 주고 컴퓨터 못 사잖아. 살 수 있나?
여어 히사시 불이 다나 부거문유령님 이어. 부거문유령님 8번째 추천
조금만
감사합니다.
못하면- 아니지,
코노
두
반구미와
배는
카카오, 사스케 고란로 스폰사노 데쿄데 오쿠리시마스. 두두찡님이 숨겨놓은 52 있고
한 100만 원은 있어야 사지 않나 컴퓨터?
부거문유령님이 라미님 하이. 두두찡님이 게러치 살라구 키키을. 부거문유령님이 두하.
아니야, 배그만 돌려도 100만 원은 들어.
두두찡님이 문화. 소스맛존골레님이 배그는 72면 된다던데.
아까 내가 칙패드를 어디서 봤더라. 칙패드를 모았는데.
소스맛존골레님이 친구 아들
그거밖에 안 한다고?
60만 원대에 샀어.
나 조립인데. 5년 넘었는데, 5년 넘었는데도 90만 원.
두두찡님이 지금 사고 개거지
뭔가?
될까?
나
소스맛존골레님이
칙패드 분명히
거
어디서
아니야?
보았는데. 아하.
여어
아하,
히사시 불이
요즘
다나
싸구만.
테스토니님이요.
나 분명히 칙패드를 어디서 보았는데.
테스토니님 9번째
기억이
추천 감사합니다. 코노 반구미와 카카오, 사스케 고란로 스폰사노 데쿄데 오쿠리시마스.
나 분명히 칙패드를 보았는데. 주세요.
소스맛존골레님이
스크스도
팅이나
있고,
해주라고.
스르르, 스르르 들어야지, 스르르. 팀을 어떻게 하지? 아하. 그럼 잡힐 수도 있겠다. 로봇 안 들어오고 사람 들어올 거니까.
소스맛존골레님이 득찍요.
파란 거에? 몰라.
4배요, 4배.
여어
우와!
히사시 불이 다나 배그모택 반달님이요.
랄랄랄랄랄랄. 안 들리는데? 안 들리는데 아예? 결국은 못 찾았다는.
칙패드 저 있어요, 하나.
오케이.
테스토니님이 라미 방송인가?
구상도 막 버리고 다녔어. 아니 아 입을 다물라는 뜻이에요? 뭐예요 그거 지금? 그럴 리가. 와, 와.
테스토니님이 PD가 말이 벗어서.
내가 방송 할 줄 알면 방송을 열 텐데 그런 거 할 줄도
테스토니님이
모르거든요.
말이 없어서.
어디야? 차를 타고 가야 되나? 건너가야 되겠네?
제발 들리지